Okay, Algebra 1 and quick review, dividing radicals. All right, so first off, remember what happens when you have a fraction in the radicand. So you just split it up with the nth root of the numerator, divide it by the nth root of the denominator. So if it were square root, it'd be square root over square root, cube root over cube root, etc., etc. All right, so how about something like this? Square root of 36 n squared. All right, piece of cake, let's split it up. Right, so we're going to split this thing up. So we get the square root of 36 over the square root of n squared, and simplify where you can. Both simplify in this case. Square root of 66 is 6, square root of n squared is n, and there you go. All right, don't forget this technique in division as well, rationalize the denominator. And so we have to learn to rationalize the denominator, meaning this, we're not allowed to leave a radical in the denominator. All right, so what happens? Something like this, right? So we got the square root of 9 divided by the square root of 7, which gives us 3 over the square root of 7. And again, we're not allowed to leave a radical in the denominator, so we've got to rationalize it. Okay, so you have to figure out a way to be able to take the square root of the denominator. Well, if I had 7 squared, I could take the square root. So I'm going to provide a second 7 by multiplication. Now remember, whatever we do to 1 to the bottom, we have to do the exact same thing to the top. We're just multiplying by a form of 1. Okay, so my top ends up 3 times the square root of 7. And my bottom is the square root of 7 times 7, which simplifies to 7. And there you go. 3 times the square root of 7 over 7. All right, be careful with cube roots, etc. So here we got the cube root of 2 already simplified over the cube root of 25x. Now, here's what a lot of students do. When they go to rationalize, this is what they want to do. They want to do the cube root of 25 squared x squared. And you know what? That would work, but that's not the wisest approach to this problem. And here's why. A 25 is a 5 times 5. And what am I dealing with? A cube root. And how many of something do I need to be able to take the cube root? I need 3 of them. So how many 5s do I have already? 2. I only need 1 more. That takes care of my 5s. Now I do need an x squared. And now whatever I do to the bottom, I do the same thing to the top. So 5x squared. Okay, so let's finish it off. Top. Both cube roots, good, we can multiply them. Radicand times radicand, 10x squared. And the bottom, what's the cube root of 5 times 5 times 5? That's a 5. What's the cube root of x times x times x? That's an x. Cube root of 10x squared over 5x. All right, quick review. There you go. Students are out in the hallway. Can you hear them? All right, I can. All right, so that's the idea.